I told James at the end of the game, I thought that they played as they are. They know who they are, and they were so persistent in their identity, and we couldn't break their identity. It's a sign of a really good team. We spent a couple of days on our focal points, and what was important. Obviously, it was the team that was going to be able to take away the paint, as some of you wrote about, and it was Chicago, and it wasn't the Lynx, and that's why Chicago's advancing and the Lynx are not. Whether it's the fast break points, I don't have an explanation for getting outworked in those areas. The layup after layup after layup, and then obviously our offense wasn't good enough. But when they're taking the ball out of the net so frequently, and shooting close to 50%, they were at over 50% for most of the game. We just didn't get the job done.
Is that the most the defensive end of it? Is that the most frustrating for you? I mean, they scored 48 in the paint. Obviously, a lot of that came from the turnovers, but 48 points in the paint is pretty tough to overcome.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the name of the game. I mean, those of you that cover, that's something that we pride ourselves on, and we're one of the better teams. And frankly, Chicago was not during the regular season. If you look at the data, it should have been an easy thing for us to do, but we didn't get it done in any of the 3 games that we played these guys. And so, for whatever reason, we can't stop Chicago in the paint. We had 3 shots at it, and we didn't get it done in any 3 of the games. So, no question about it, that was the most difficult, and will be the most difficult thing to swallow, because it's not that hard. That doesn't take a whole lot. It's not like you have to be uber talented. But we didn't get it done.
Cheryl, what was your assessment of Fee's game, and is she bothered by that plantar fasciitis or anything else right now?
I don't think so. Obviously Fee struggled. But I think to put it on health or anything like that, or losing a contact or whatever. I think she made shots without the contact, so maybe we'll talk to her about that. But no, I mean, it didn't happen for Fee tonight. And obviously we're a much better team when it does happen for Fee.
Cheryl still seemed to really establish herself early in the game. What made it maybe difficult, I guess, to get the ball down to her and get her looks in the second half?
She was the only one that was established. And so they literally were taking 3-4 people and saying, you can throw it anywhere. And you can take out as many threes you want to. And that's what the mindset was for our team, that we were going to live with, the idea that they could have 10 or 12 threes, if that's what it was for them that night. But they weren't going to be in the paint against us. But you didn't know that by watching the game, because that's not what happened. So yeah, just for Still, it got harder and harder, and and we don't have great entry passers. Lay's one of our best, and obviously a really unfortunate ending for Lay, and they're taking it really hard. But you can't help those kinds of things. That was such a bummer. We need Lay, we need Tontis, we need those players. But with all that, I can't say anything bad about this team, and the team that we became. And you guys wrote so many great stories about us. Just sucks. First home game, since 2017, and great showing by our fans, and passionate, and obviously it always hurts not to deliver for them.
To follow up, Lay, it was pretty clear that Lay was just going to be limited, and just wasn't. Yeah. Didn't have it, and that wasn't going to change going forward, was it?
No. So unfortunate, but for whatever reason, that was the way it was supposed to go, for whatever reason. But it wasn't good for our team.
When Chicago went up 14, I think with about 6 minutes and 30 seconds left, your team made a decision that they weren't going to roll over.
That's right.
They were going to come back and fight.
That's right.
What was kind of the conversation?
We said, don't quit. We told them, don't quit. We said there are plenty of possessions left, and we cut it. I think we cut it to 4. Each time we cut it to 4, then it just went the other way. So I do appreciate that, that happened for us, that we got some fight to us, but they controlled the game in terms of, just overall activity and ball movement and aggression. And, that showed in officiating a little bit. We're asking for calls and we're not attacking the rim very hard. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that fight that we showed, the way we played in those minutes was obviously what we needed for the 40 minutes of the game. But obviously didn't happen.
Annie Constable from the Sun Times. Courtney Vandersloot had 4 in the first half and then came out and really exploded in the second. Can you speak to how challenging it is, or how challenging it was for your team to contain her and contain a guard like that can really just take over the game?
Well, she's just as good at putting pressure at the rim as Copper and DeShields are. I mean, they're all very good at, imposing their will on you. And I would love to know how many of the 15, came in the paint, came off the steals, where she had a big inbound steal where we have a young point guard that, makes a tough mistake there. And, Sloot steals and goes for a layup. So how many layups did she get? That is not the formula for success, is let Sloot get in there. And, I have visuals of her coming down in transition, probing. She's very persistent, seeing no one guarded her and going right to the basket for a layup. So she's a great player. She played well, and obviously she's means so much to that team. And, she's a big part of why they were successful.
We have time for 2 more. We'll go to the Zoom. We'll go Alex and then Danny. Alex, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Alex Hazzy with NBC Sports. You mentioned Leja's missing Leja, and I'm curious about reflecting on the season as a whole, and Leja, months ago being waived by the Liberty, and kind of just your reflection on their performance over the course of the season and what they were able to bring out of that tough position that they found themselves in earlier this year.
Yeah, Lay just talked to the team about it. The amount of gratitude that they have for, this being a place that could, get her out of the darkness of that situation, and how important it was to find what they found here. And, obviously equally important for us. I loved everything Lay did for us and was for us. And we were a different team when Lay's healthy and running things, and gives us our physicality, our intelligence, maybe gets us to the paint a little bit more, from guard play. I'm thrilled that things worked out as well as they did. It was one of the better stories of the WNBA season, where someone else's, discarded, became our treasure. So I'm happy that Lay was able to experience, and I'm equally happy that we got to share and find out what Lay was about.
Well, the last question on the Zoom to Danny. Danny, go ahead.
Hey, Cheryl, good to talk to you. I was wondering, you were talking a bit before about the fight of this team in the fourth quarter. Right before the fourth on the broadcast, Sylvia Fowles was being interviewed, and she was smiling ear to ear, talking about how she's, excited for the challenge to try to fight back into this game. I was wondering if you could talk a bit about just how Syl's attitude in those kinds of situations, smiling like that, impacts the rest of the team.
Well, I mean, it's your best player. It's a player that's got 14 years behind her, and has kind of been there, done that, been in final series, won championships and all of that, and so it gives you a great deal of confidence when Syl is bringing that mentality, and that's who Syl is. I mean, Syl's never quit on anything, and she's somebody that's really easy to get behind, and so I know it gave our team confidence when she approached it that way. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we're gonna bring Chicago players in first.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay.
If you have a question, you can let me know. I'll give you mine.
I'll sit here.
Yeah. Dared you to come up here with your doobie doobie on. No, I'm just, my torso is small.
Courtney, you had 4 in the first half and finished with 19. What did you see differently in terms of getting to the rim in the second half?
You know, just trying to be aggressive. We set a lot of drags in the second half, trying to open things up, keep up the pace. A lot of it was run outs in transition after steals. So, just trying to do my part.
You guys have been talking all year about having a game where you control every quarter, and tonight, I mean, other than being down by 1 in the first quarter, you guys maintained your composure and never got down. So what does that mean to this team at this moment, now headed into the semifinals, to be clicking like that?
Well, it's huge, and it's been top of mind since we've entered the playoffs. And I think it shows a lot of growth as a team, that we aren't letting runs or moments, bad moments, turn into bad moments. Really it, and I credit a lot to Candace and her leadership out there. She's really kept that top of mind, and I think it's really working for us.
Last for me, the last time the Sky were in the semifinals, y'all played the Sparks and Candace, obviously. So back in the semifinals now as teammates.
This is where we wanted to be. As soon as she decided to come to Chicago, this was our first conversation was, winning a championship, and to do that, we'd need to be in the semifinals. And so we're exactly where we want to be. I think we're playing the best basketball of the season, so at the right time. And we just need to ride this wave and continue the momentum.
Candace, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you did pass your former teammate Lisa Leslie on the all-time playoff scoring list today. What does that mean to you? And have you had any discussions with Lisa about that?
Obviously I was fortunate enough to be your teammate for 2 seasons, a season and a half. And I just watched her work, and she was around my age when I came to the league. I think she was 36 when I came to the league. So I think I'm even more so, I even more so commend her for the way that she played at this age. And so I think, your role kind of changes as your career goes on. And I think that it's a testament to the way that Lisa played consistently. I mean, to be in the top in playoff, that's what you want, right? That means that you're in the postseason and you're battling for titles.
Absolutely. Courtney, you've been with Diamond since 2018, and you as well, Ka. When Diamond plays like this, when she's able to attack the rim, be this efficient, does this team just go up a level offensively?
Absolutely. The way she's been attacking and her efficiency and defend and rebound, she impacts the game coming off the bench. It just takes us up a complete level. Like, we can rest some players, and we're not playing as many minutes. So that's huge for us.
Candace, defense as a team, how are you able to limit Sylvia Fowles?
Syl is a tough guard. I mean, it's her ducking in. And obviously I've seen a heavy dose of that just facing the Lynx in the playoffs as much as we have. So really with Syl, we're just trying to make things as tough as possible. Bring help and show her different looks. And I think just with our post players, like, everybody kind of got their time on her. Stu, myself, Steph, Z. But your work's not over when she doesn't get the ball. You still have to block out. And so I think in the first quarter, we didn't do that. And then the reason why we were able to kind of extend the lead and win the last 3 quarters was because we did block out and we were able to get the rebound.
Azure came up big tonight in the post. Can you guys speak to just how critical her performance was tonight, going up against Syl and really not backing down?
It was huge. We expected a lot from Z today, and I think the biggest thing was extra possessions, giving 5 offensive rebounds for us. I mean, that's a huge game changer, and she's able to do that against Sylvia, one of the best rebounders in the history. So that's huge for us when we're getting extra possessions, especially late. So, she was able to guard Sylvia at moments, and like Candace said, it's not an easy task. So we're really proud of her, and we're going to need that going, facing two very good post players in our next series.
Kalia, not enough could be said about your importance to this team this year. An all-star, first-time all-star, and tonight you finished with a double-double. You're one of the most aggressive players in the league, getting to the rim. So for you, where does that confidence come from? And is it just an initial thing every game you're coming in and you know you're going to get to the rim no matter what?
First of all, I want to give a shout out to Candace Parker for letting me get that last rebound, letting me get that double-double. Thank you very much. But I think my confidence just comes from my teammates. You know, they believe in me. They call plays for me. I think we were just feeding off each other out there. And if I'm out there just bringing the energy and defending, and that's just where my confidence comes from, because I know what I can do out there.
It just felt like every single time in the second half that the Lynx threw a punch at any of you guys, whether it was a player individually or you guys as a team, that everybody just got up and responded. Just with each punch that you guys ate and threw another one of your own, just how much confidence does that give you, especially, you know, deep in the fourth quarter when the Lynx, you know, did cut the game to 4, I think with like 3:30 to go.
For me, I think it comes from just being in this situation. You know, I think our team really has prepared. Like, we've had different players that have been in there throughout the season, you know, and I think our whole mentality going into this playoffs is like, we're not going to freak out. Like, teams play basketball. They're good at basketball. They're going to make runs, and we got to maintain our composure and get back to us. I think we saw improvement in the third quarter, because the third quarter has been tough for us. And I think we came out with a mentality and we were able to extend the lead a little bit. And then we put ourselves in position in the fourth. All we had to do was win the fourth quarter, and we won the game. And Suit said that going into the fourth quarter, like, we just got to win this fourth quarter, even if it's by 1 point. Cool. Oh, nice. Cool. Y'all are awesome. I'm gonna get my mask.
Hey, Sil, when you were walking to the bench after having fouled out late there, what was going through your mind?
We missed the opportunity. And it sucks to be in that position, to not be able to be out there on the court. That was going through my mind at that moment.
So how would you describe the level of attention they were giving you defensively to really make it difficult for you to even get touches down there?
It was pretty much pick and choose your poison. I tried not to think about what they was doing, but more so catching the ball and who was open on the perimeter. If I can take it, make sure I take it and get a good shot. But if it was needed to be passed out, make sure I pass it out to my teammates.
This guy, Annie Costable from the Sun-Times, this guy really got to the rim tonight. You know, they led with points in the paint, and it wasn't just Kalia Copper or Azrae Stevens. Courtney Vandersloot got to the rim a ton tonight. So what were you guys seeing defensively that maybe were missed opportunities defensively?
Chicago got to the rack, the last 2 games too. So I think we just didn't get it done tonight, but you got to give Chicago credit. We knew that was one of their strong suits, and we knew they was going to come out and try to get in the paint because that's something that they do well. And we didn't respond to that with keeping them out the paint.
Fee, are you healthy? Is the plantar fasciitis bothering you? And how did you feel about your game overall today?
I mean, yeah, I think everyone has things that are hurting at the end of the year, but it's the playoffs, so you have to be able to push through. And how am I feeling about the end of the year, you said?
Just how do you feel about your game today?
I mean, I'm disappointed in myself just because, I wanted to help the team any way that I could, and I feel like I didn't do that. So I'll just use it as motivation so I don't feel this way again and I can contribute in a meaningful way next year.
So Cheryl said, when she came in here that Lay addressed the team after the game and expressed their gratitude for everything that you guys did. Maybe, each one of you, what was, something you took away from that or what was kind of going through your mind when, when he was talking to you guys?
Lay is very passionate about the game, and that stood out, I think, for all of us when she came to the team and really just helped our team turn over a new leaf. We welcomed her with open arms, but she was so, down for what our culture was from the beginning. So we're happy that, she's a Lynx. And while she was talking, it was very emotional, but overall, we're happy that she's here.
I just was thinking about how proud I am of her and what she brought to our team as a leader, from a leadership standpoint, from point guard, and her work ethic, not taking no for an answer, feeling like she had something to prove. And so I think she was a good contributor to our team this year.
I'm also really proud of Lay, just everything from the beginning, what they brought to the team and leadership wise on the court, really coming in when we needed that position filled, kind of slowing us down on offense and making sure we were together. And then just leading in her own way. And I really appreciated, it's hard to come into a new team, especially in the middle of the season, but she came in, hitting the ground running and doing what she did. And it was so appreciated from us.
Ariel, how were you able to get going, particularly in the second half after the game probably didn't start the way you wanted to?
My teammates, they talked to me. They kept me in. Seal talks to me all the time. Thank goodness for Seal. I didn't think about, I didn't think about the start. It's playoffs. So you miss some shots, oh well. Get back on defense and just try to get to your teammate. You really can't think about what you did wrong. So I was just playing out there, and like I said, my teammates had my back and just was like, yo, AP, forget about it. Let's go. Next play. Let's get a stop. So that's it, really.
Fee, you hit that 3-pointer. I think they'd grown the lead to 14, and you guys came back hard. You hit that 3-pointer to make it 4. What in your mind happened after that? What prevented you from kind of pushing the door all the way? I guess, pushing in what happened at that point that they were able to kind of take control of the game?
They were really aggressive, and they got a couple, pick sixes, which are really hard. And we didn't use that opportunity to kind of keep pushing. We kind of allowed them to put us on our heels. So I think, again, it's just a learning experience. Like, this is a do or die game and people are fighting for their lives. It's, potentially last game of the season, which it is for us now. So we have to come in with an energy that represents that and just making sure that we're being really assertive and mindful whenever we're doing anything.
As a follow for you three, Lay tried to go, but she wasn't, it wasn't 100%. No, they weren't 100% at all. I think that was going to be the way it was going to be down the, however far you guys went. How difficult is it to kind of lose such an important player at this point of the season?
It's always difficult, especially once you get going. But at the end of the day, Lay gave us what she could. And for that, I'm always appreciative. We knew Lay was going to come in and give what she got. So it was up to us to try to carry Lay at that point. And I think we tried, but we didn't succeed.
Ariel, when you look back at your first season here, I know it definitely didn't go the way that you wanted it to in terms of things that were out of your control. But what gives you the most excitement, or maybe the most excitement about, your future here in Minnesota?
My teammates. How we fought, we started 0-4, and no one would have thought we would have came out the 3 seed. No one, and I talked about in the locker room, my injuries and how they still accepted me and still was there for me through the whole time. That excites me. My teammates excite me, and I think we have a good group. I think we have a good group, and Sylvia touched on it. We work hard. You know, it sucks that, you know, this is a single elimination game and we didn't come out on top, but we'll just use that as fuel for next year. And I think the results will be different, you know.
Oh, my last question for any of you three, maybe Fee, you've seen what you guys can do when you're healthy. You've seen how well Lay fits with this team, assuming they'll be back. What do you think the future of this team holds? I guess next year when you get maybe Damaris back and you're back to 100%.
I'm really, really excited, and I think we're going to hit the ground running. You know, it was a big adjustment having a lot of new players this year, people coming late, and we figured it out. So to have a year under us where, you know, hopefully most of the core team will be back and we can play with each other again. And, you know, this loss sucks, so we're going to come in with kind of a chip on our shoulder saying we don't want to feel this way again. So making sure that we're coming out and showing people who the Lynx are.
We'll move to questions from the Zoom now. We'll start with Danny. Danny, go ahead.
This is also a question for any of the three of you. There was that stretch in the fourth quarter where you came out, got those 12 straight points off threes, forced several shot clock violations. Can you talk a bit about kind of the emotional journey towards coming back in that instance, and just what kind of allowed you to push yourself to, you know, close that gap?
Say fear, AP.
Any of you.
Oh.
Yeah, whichever of you wants to take it.
I think just, you know, staying resilient. And that was, I think someone asked the other day, what's one word to describe this team? And it's definitely resilient. Even though we were down in the clock late, you know, some teams would fold under that. Yeah. And it is a lot of pressure, but we knew what we could do as a team. We've been down before. And so coming back was just, you know, part of our story. And unfortunately, we weren't able to close the gap all the way, but I knew we were going to, you know, chip away at it as much as we could. And so it was really exciting, obviously, when we went on that run, and I just wish we could have, you know, held out a little bit longer and done what we need to do.
Yeah.
We'll go last question on the Zoom to Cheryl. Cheryl, go ahead. Cheryl, can you hear us? All right. Thank you, guys.
Charles, how you doing, man? All right. Oh yeah. Okay. How you doing?
Could we go?
I'm not the boss.
Azra came up big tonight. Can you speak to the importance of her play tonight and just how how big she was in the paint going up against Hill?
I mean, she was big. Those it seems like all the 5 offensive rebounds that she got were at key moments, and they were really important. The fact that they got 6 offensive rebounds early, and we as Azure she just took it to another level. We boxed out better. They ended the game with 6 offensive rebounds. They didn't have one in the second half. And Azure had all the offensive rebounds in the second half, and they was just clutch and they were key. And she made good decisions. She ran the floor. She got to the foul line because she enforced her will, and that's what we needed from her, and that's what we expect from her. Now that she's healthy, I think you're going to start seeing these type of performances more often.
You talked about after the game against the Wings, needing that third quarter to match the rest of your team's game. Tonight, you guys held on in the third quarter. You didn't get behind. So how do you feel as a coach looking at this team and the way that they've chipped away at coming together and playing a full game?
I mean, with each game, you comes experience and you get experience. So you just are hopeful with a team like we have, with a veteran team like we have, that they use that experience that they got from the earlier round game, and they're mindful of that, and they talk to each other and they pick each other up and understand that the third quarter was key, especially going into the locker room against a good Minnesota team. We knew that we had to come out with a high energy level and a focus on execution. So we knew that this was a big step at getting to the next round, and we knew that the third quarter was going to play a big part of it.
Coach Wade, Charles Harmon, Minnesota Spokesman Recorder. In all 3 games, Chicago has scored over at least 80 points or more against Minnesota in all 3 games, including tonight. What has been your success to be able to score that many points, especially you've won 2 of them?
I mean, the players that we have, it's about, playing at the pace we want to play at, but also, taking the best shots as possible. We have a talented team. I think, the big thing about it is we're good enough to get good shots anytime down the floor. But it's just going to take a concentrated effort on each individual at just being a willing passer and being a willing penetrator to pass, or, and making good decisions once they get to the rim. So I think there's a little bit of that. And, I like, the offensive explosion, the potential for an offensive explosion at each position that we have. So I think it's just us playing together and just feeding off each other and buying into that.
Courtney had 4 points in the first half and finished with 19, and we saw her get to the rim a ton in the second half. I don't have exactly what her numbers were in the paint, but as far as her game goes in comparison to some of the other players like Diamond and Kalia, who everyone talks about how good they are at getting to the rim, what's your takeaway on how good Courtney is at getting to the rim?
She's really good. I mean, she's always been good, and I think some of her game at getting to the basket and penetrating is underrated because she passes the ball so well. She has other things. She can shoot the 3, and so when you have a player like that, that's valuable in different facets of the game. Sometimes some stuff is going to be overlooked and not as prepared for as the other things. I can hear you fine.
Well, Coach, in post-Olympic break, this team gave up the most points per game, more than any other team in the league, but in the last 2 games, held them to 64 points and 76 points. Do you like where the defense is at? Do you think the energy is there that you talked about?
Yeah, I think it is. We are more connected defensively. We're doing things a little different. So, and the players are locked into each other. And so if you look at us play the last two games, even last three, you can go back last three, you'll see a lot of communication, a lot of eye contact, a lot of activity on the ball and off the ball. And, better late than never. But I like where we are. And it's always things to clean up. So you can always look at things to clean up, but they're doing a good job of executing the game plans that the coaches present to them.
Diamond also had a really nice game, just being efficient, attacking the rim. Even seems like she made some decisions tonight that, like, instead of taking a long two, she drove and attacked the rim. Does this team go up a level offensively when she's able to be this efficient around the rim?
So this is important for Diamond as she grows into the player that she's going to be, that she understands like what makes her successful. And that's a part of it. She's so talented with her touch to the ball and all these things with her first step. And tonight she had no wasted movement. She was attacking the rim, like you said, and making good decisions. And when she didn't have anything, she moved it, and then she got it back. She attacked again. And so everything was just, and this is championship level basketball when you could do those things on a consistent basis. But I think when you're so talented and you have all these tools, it's just how do you hone them? And I think she's learning that now. So this is a big game on her part, and it was important that she come out and do this, and it lifted us along with others. But it was a big game by her. Yeah. All right, thanks, guys. All right, appreciate it.